All right guys, so excited to have you here today. I got an awesome video for you. We're actually going to do a week-long, kind of a mini series here. It's just going to be one video, but I've given you a week's worth of drills, and I'm telling you, if you do these, the expectation, your goal should be to add at least 10 miles an hour to your swing speed or 20 yards to your driving distance. It's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait to have you guys ripping the ball. Now, if you're joining us on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button below. That's going to get all of our latest content. You don't want to miss out on this. If you're on a mobile phone, go ahead and click the drop down button and click subscribe from there too. That way you won't miss out. All right, so here's the way this week-long course is going to work. We're going to do 3 driving range sessions where you're actually going to make it out to the course, go to the driving range, rip some drives, really go for some max speed there, and then we're going to do 4 in-home sessions. So you can do those in the comfort of your living room. I know not everyone's going to be able to make it out to the course 7 days in a row, so I got some great drills for you guys when the weather's bad, right from your living room where you can increase your driver swing speed. All right guys, so day 1, let's go ahead and get started. This is what we're going to do: a half backswing and a full follow through. Now, like I said, you're going to be able to add some miles per hour to your swing. The way that you're going to be able to do this is you need 2 things. Number one thing that people do oftentimes is they'll skip some of these drills. They'll say, oh, I've already done that drill before, I know what's going on there, and they'll only do the ones that they like to do. If you follow this step by step, you're going to get the best gains. And number 2, you have to have some way to measure this. My personal preference is the Voice Caddy. It's a Swing Caddy 2. This is going to measure your swing speed, which is most important, what we'll go over. It's going to measure your ball speed, and it's also going to talk about your total distance. It's going to measure all this for you. It's very easy to do. It tracks the ball, so you just go to the driving range. When you're hitting your driving range sessions, you can improve your swing speed or measure your swing speed while you're doing this. We'll provide a link for you. We actually do an affiliate deal with them, and they give us a few bucks, which is pretty cool every time you guys purchase one of those. Like always, I would never recommend anything that isn't something that I would use. This is the same one I use. We use this in our distance clinic, so it's a really cool tool. You don't have to have this one though. Just have something where you can measure your swing speed. So if you already have a device that measures your swing speed, that's perfectly fine. Now, what I'm going to do on this video, or this drill, is first off, let's go ahead and make some practice swings. This is going to ingrain the motion that we're doing here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my normal setup, just like I was going to hit a driver. I'm going to scoot back, and now from here I'm going to take a half back swing, and I'm going to come through to a full finish. A couple keys with this. Number 1, if you want to get power with this, we can't be casting from the backswing here. So if I don't have very much lag at this point, if I try to muscle it on through there, I'm not going to be able to get hardly any distance at all. So I want to go ahead and get a little bit of lag as I'm coming down. As I come through, now I'm going to feel like I release that out in front, which we'll go over here in a second, and then come on through to that good full finish. Now, a very important way to do this, if you just keep the legs fairly stable, they don't move around a lot, and I do this drill. So I'm here, my legs aren't moving a ton, and I'm doing all arms, upper body. My shoulders are still working hard, my arms and hands are still working hard, but you're not going to get very much speed out of it. It has to be from the ground up, from your lower body all the way going up. So when you make your backswing, what I want you to do is pause here about halfway back. You're going to have about that 90-degree angle that we just talked about. And then from there, feel like your knees separate a little bit, like you're coming down and out. You imagine if you're riding a horse, something like that, where your legs are separated, that's the sensation that you're going to get. From there, as you start to come through, your knees are going to extend up and rotate on through, and that's going to really help you to rotate. Imagine, this is the sensation you're going to have. As you go back, you get that little separation squat, and then from there, I'm going to imagine jumping and turning at the same time. That's the sensation I have in the golf swing, is it's a twist and it's a upward kind of a jumping action at the same time. That's why you see some of those guys on the PGA Tour that are really going after it. Their feet will come off the ground. Some guys actually, their toes come off the ground. They're barely even touching the ground at all coming through there. That's that upward action, and that's going to be really important. We're actually going to talk about that later in this video. But first, let's just start out getting that 90-degree bend, letting the legs flex a little bit, and then coming all the way through. I want you to swing full speed, max, as hard as you can go for 10 swings. If you want to hit it far, if you want to increase your driving distance, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and swing as fast as you can swing. And what's going to happen is when you first do this, you're going to feel uncomfortable. When you hit that golf ball, it's going to feel crazy. It may slice, it may hook, but as you get more comfortable with this new swing, you're delivering the club a lot faster into the ball. You're not familiar with that. It actually gets a lot more accurate. So don't worry if it goes a little wild in the beginning. We'll get through that, we'll straighten it out. So first off, 10 practice swings, halfway back, get the good turn, get the good angle in the wrist, let those legs flex, and then I'm gonna jump up and turn all the way on through there. Again, you're going 100% of your effort 10 times in a row. Every swing you're trying to make faster than the one before that. Now the second piece of this day one drill is, why am I jumping up? Why are my legs moving upward? And that comes to how we accelerate this golf club. If you imagine I'm swinging this golf club, if I pull this grip upward, straight up, as long as my club head's lagging behind like it is in the golf swing, as I pull up, look how that club head wants to whip on through there to accelerate under what's called a moment of force. We're not gonna get all technical with that, you don't have to know that, but just realize if I turn this grip butt into the club up, so if I'm making my golf swing, my grip is down here and it turns back up and in, that's gonna allow that club head to whip on through there and get a lot of acceleration. So if I want the club to work for me, that's what I have to do. If I wanna try to muscle the club and push it, I'm not gonna get very much swing speed. I'm gonna put out a ton of effort with my body, but I'm not gonna get that high swing speed. So that's the second piece. We've got this 90-degree angle, we've got our legs bent. Now what I want you to feel is this grip gets really low to the ground, and I want you to feel like as you extend up with your legs, you're turning this grip up as quickly as you can. If I'm going toward the camera, you can imagine that's kind of on a swing plane here. So as that club comes down, as it turns back up, it's kind of coming up that swing plane or that angle there. It's not coming up this direction. It's going in the plane of your swing, the overall plane of your swing. It doesn't have to be exact or anything like that. But I'm focusing on turning that grip up absolutely as hard as I can. So 90 degrees, bent legs. Now from there, I'm getting that grip low and I'm whipping it on through there. And with every single one of these, I want you to come to an absolute full finish. So I don't want to do one of these, you know, where I just let my arms stop. I want to do one where I let my legs bend, grip low, rip that grip up, and then all the way on around. Let your belt buckle come on through to the target, let your shoulder come on around. If you're struggling to do that, it's actually not a flexibility issue, it's a footwork issue. Let that front foot, just like the PGA Tour players are doing, let that open up as you come on through. If you watch that lead foot, they're always gonna open that up with the driver. So let that foot pivot on around, and then make sure you get to that good full finish with every one of these swings. 10 more practice swings, 100% effort. So that's 20 total practice swings, trying to get out as much force as you can. We haven't hit a ball yet, that's completely fine. We're gonna put that together now and hit a couple golf balls. Once you do the 9 o'clock backswing, right back to here, that full finish, and I want you to hit this ball as far as you can. Now it's gonna go a little shorter because we're only doing a half backswing, but what we're really training here, the reason we're doing this drill, we gotta get that acceleration, you know, happening right at contact. We gotta get that club speeding up right when it's hitting the ball. If I'm casting back here, making this big long swing and then throwing the club, I'm not getting the speed where I want it. So I really wanna focus on when I'm hitting this golf ball, getting the speed at the ball. Let's go ahead and try to do a couple of these for maximum swing speed. There we go, killed that one. I don't know if I could hit much harder with a half backswing. Now that felt like a half backswing to me. I bet I went a little farther back than I thought I did. I bet I probably got up to here somewhere with my hands and arms instead of being here. That's completely fine. It's just the idea of making a shorter swing, really being aggressive with our leg work, really being aggressive, whipping that club up to get that acceleration at the ball, and then that good full finish. So we saw my club head speed, 115 miles an hour, super happy with that with a shorter swing. 167 ball speed, 303 on the distance. So really good for a half backswing, full follow through. Go ahead and hit at least 10 more shots doing that. Focus on those key checkpoints again. If you struggle, make a few practice swings between each shot. Halfway back, 90-degree angle with the wrist. Get that good leg action coming down. That's gonna help you to rotate on through and to lift up through the shot. Get the hands low and then let that club just feel like you're gonna rip the grip right off the club shaft. You're gonna get that club accelerating through impact and you're gonna get better speed. So make sure you finish each of those reps and you'll be ready for the next day. All right, now for day 2 and 3, we're gonna do some indoor training. You can do these from the comfort of your living room. Just make sure you complete these each day. I don't wanna skip a few days and then try to do catch up. We wanna go every single day with this. So all we're gonna do is 30 golf swings, hitting on the same things, really getting that muscle memory with the same things we worked on in video 1. So all I want you to do here, set up in your living room. If you want to go to the driving range, you can just complete day 1 3 times in a row. That's completely fine. If you can't, this only takes about 15 minutes to make the 30 swings and do them right. If you have a swing speed device that just measures club head speed, that's great. You can practice getting the highest club head speed you can. Again, I was 115. If I hit, let's say I hit 90 miles an hour, my goal is 91. As soon as I hit 91, I want to hit 92. That's the whole thing with this. So now let's go ahead. We'll do the same drills again, 30 reps, 90 degrees with the angle of the club, hands halfway back, let the legs flex, and then from there, really rip that grip up and try to get that good full finish. Think about those with each of these 30 reps, and remember, 100% swing speed. We don't want to be going at it easy. Make sure you loosen up before you do this, get a little bit, get the muscles going. Complete the day 2 and day 3 drills. Time you hit day 4, we'll really be able to rock the ball. All right, so in day 1, we worked on the acceleration coming through the golf ball. That's where it has to happen. Now in day 4, we're going to add a new piece to this. If we can make our swing longer, imagine this, the only place we're putting any speed into this golf club is right here at our hands, into the handle of the club. So if you look at the longest hitters, what they're doing is they're allowing the biggest amount of space for this club to accelerate. So the longer this arc that I make coming back, the longer the amount of space I have coming from the top of my swing all the way to impact, I have a lot of room to create swing speed, to create club head speed. If I have a shorter swing like we just did on that last one, even if we do everything right, even if we get tons of power, tons of speed, if our hands aren't going very far back, we have this very short distance to create speed. So it's like a 1-2 punch. You want the speed happening at the bottom, but if you can give yourself a longer period of time to build up that momentum working into the bottom, now you're really going to get the crazy swing speed. So in this video, we're going to work on some drills here to increase your shoulder turn and make that hand path, that hand swing, a little bit longer. So what we're going to do here is you set up to this golf ball, again, start out with some practice swings. I want you to go ahead and take the club and put it across your shoulders. So have the grip into the club sticking out a little farther than this end of the club. Put it right on the tips of the shoulders. I don't want it down here by the elbows, all the way up here on the top. And now from there, I'm going to have my golf ball, my imaginary golf ball here on the ground. I want to turn this club past that golf ball. Now you'll notice I get a little bit tight right here. I can't really go much past that. I have to loosen up my left ankle a little bit. I need to let that lift slightly off the ground. That's going to let my hips rotate a little bit more, and that's going to let my shoulders rotate a little bit more. I want to get the butt end of this club pointing past that golf ball as far as I can. As I come on through, same thing, squat move, and then as I come on through, I'm going to get this butt end of the club pointing as far behind my body as I can. Now the important part there, again, it comes down to the footwork. I have to let this foot swivel all the way around. I have to let this foot open up. If you don't like opening up the foot like the pro players are doing, like PGA Tour players are doing, you feel like it's a little too much movement, just start with your foot already open. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So on the backswing again, let that left ankle relax, club behind the ball, squat. I'm standing up and I'm getting this club behind me as far as I can that way. Go ahead and do some reps to get comfortable with that motion. And then we're going to do 20 swings. The first 10 swings, we're just going to work on that shoulder, getting behind the ball, getting that good full, what we call the power turn in the Top Speed Golf System. Same thing we work on the Top Speed Golf System. When you remember the site, working through the videos, getting that good shoulder turn is a key to distance. So now we're going to go ahead, full swing speed this time. Big a turn as you can make going back, loosen that left ankle, big a turn as you can make going through, and we're just going to swing as hard as we can on this one. All right, you're going to be tired after these. That's a big swing. Again, 100% effort is what I'm looking for. Once you've done that, let's pair day 1 and day 4 together. Let's do another 10 reps. So you're going to do 20 total reps. This time, I want you to still make that big turn, but I want you to focus in on the same feeling that you had in day 1, getting that club to whip up through contact and really accelerate at the point where it matters the most. If I can get all this momentum coming down and then turn on that acceleration right at contact, that's when we're going to get the most speed. So 20 total reps, working on that big turn and then adding it to day 1, and then we're going to finish this off by recreating that same feeling. Now we're just going to put a golf ball there. So we remember in day 1, my swing speed was 115. That's with a shorter backswing, which is going to hurt my distance a little bit, even though I was doing everything right to get the swing speed at the ball. So my swing speed was still fairly high because I was doing good things down here. Now I just got to lengthen it up a little bit. Let's see what we can get to now when I put both of these together. Sorry, it's set on a 7-iron there. Cool thing about this swing caddy too is you can control your club by your remote. Switch it over to the driver. Now let's put both of these together. Good full shoulder turn. Really let it rip at the bottom. Definitely better there. Right down the middle of the fairway, 122 on that one. Didn't hit that one as solid as I did on the first one, but you see I gained 12 yards or so, and I gained 7 miles an hour club head speed. So work on those drills, go through those. If you're still struggling with them, don't feel bad if you do a few extra reps. The more reps you do, the more muscle memory you're gonna build. All right, so here we are at day 5 and day 6. We're gonna do the same thing, indoor training. We're gonna do 30 total reps. If you wanna do more, that's completely fine, but at least do these 30 to guarantee you're gonna get this swing speed. We're gonna start out with 15 reps, going back to day 1 again. We're building these. Don't feel like this is repeating itself. You have to do these in a few days in a row to build that muscle memory. So don't skip this. Make sure you do those half backswing. Again, 90-degree angle, flex the legs. I'm ripping up that grip as hard as I can. I may feel like these bottom 2 fingers are just gonna snap the bottom of that grip off. I might even break the club is what it feels like to me. And then make sure you get that good full finish all the way on through. 15 reps of that. Then I'm gonna do 15 reps. You might do a couple here in the beginning, getting that feeling of the club getting behind the ball. Big shoulder turn. I'm gonna do 15 reps working on that big shoulder turn, back and through to make sure I'm building that momentum, giving myself as much space as possible to create swing speed. So 30 total reps on day 5, 30 total reps on day 6, and then we'll be ready to bring it all together on day 7. All right, let's tie this all together. We wanna build on that speed again. Again, one of the main things we can do is at the bottom of this swing, I wanna feel like I'm turning this club up as hard as I can. That gets that club to accelerate with its momentum, and I don't have to feel like I'm muscling it as much. That's gonna really help me to create swing speed if I'm not super strong and fast. Now, we have to use our legs. We talked about earlier in this video how I'm letting my knees separate, and then as I'm coming up, that's gonna help me to turn this club on up. Now the reason for this is, as my hips, if you watch my left hip, I'm gonna put that right on the butt end of this club. As I come down, watch what happens in my left hip as I extend up. Notice how it starts to turn up and in. Just like we talked about the club swinging on that swing plane, the grip is, look how that hip kind of does the same thing. It's coming up and in. Now look at my left shoulder. As I come down, my shoulder's lowering, it's turning up and in. So that's helping everything move up in this direction. And then finally, the last piece of this, because my arm is attached to my shoulder, as the shoulder moves up, so does my hand. It doesn't have to be a ton, a few inches, a couple inches, it's completely fine. You'll see some guys really do this a lot, like Rory McIlroy, probably the pound for pound longest hitter, definitely the pound for pound longest hitter on the PGA Tour. Probably not even close now that I think about it. All the other guys that are driving farther than him, way bigger, way stronger than he is. So that turning up action is really helping with the club head speed. What's gonna allow us to make this happen is, let's go ahead and take our normal stance and bring my feet together. Now from here, I'm gonna do what's called a step drill, baseball swing. Really feeling like I'm putting out 100% effort again. As I swing back, just this practice swing, I'm gonna go ahead and as soon as I start back, I'm gonna transfer my front foot and my weight forward, and I'm really gonna feel like those legs are bent. What that's doing here is that's getting me lower, that's loading my legs, and then from there, I'm gonna push as hard as I can into the ground with this left leg, down and out. That's gonna make my left hip rise, my left shoulder, then eventually my hands out to the club for a lot of speed. So 20 reps, as hard as you can swing doing this step drill. Again, as I do my takeaway, that's when I'm gonna do the step. I don't wanna do this and wait to the downswing to do the step. So incorrect would be this, correct would be this. So that step happens as soon as you start taking that club away. 20 total reps, hard as you can swing. Each time you're trying to get 1 more mile an hour than you got before. All right, now it's time to put it to the test. Now, if you're feeling comfortable with this step drill, I recommend trying a few out actually hitting a ball doing this, as crazy as that sounds. All you're gonna do is do your normal setup. I'm gonna go back and put my feet together. I'm gonna take that step and hit the golf ball. So it looks something like this. May not be the best shots. I hit that one actually on the left side of the fairway. It was okay. 121 club head speed. A lot of things are moving around. That may be difficult to get a good shot doing that. So if you're not comfortable with that, just do the practice swings. And then this is the part that matters. We're gonna do a normal swing. We're combining all these aspects that we've worked on. Acceleration at the bottom, big full turn to get as much momentum as we can in the swing. And then lastly, feeling like that left leg is just driving into the ground to help our club turn back up and to get a lot of club head speed. So I'm going to do a couple step drills here. There we go. So I'm feeling that speed, and now I'm going to try to recreate that same feeling while I'm hitting this golf ball. Let's see if I can break that 122, which is my previous record. Oh, killed that one. I couldn't hit that one much better. That was 321. I tied my 122. That may be the best I'm going to get today. But if you work on those drills, you're going to gradually increase your swing speed. If you want to take it to another level, start right back from day one. Again, work through these. I promise you, you're going to be ripping the ball in no time. So what's the next step? How do we take it from here? Well, we mentioned a little bit something we call the power turn on the Top Speed Golf website and the Top Speed Golf system. That's when we get that big shoulder turn going back and through. If you're not a real big, strong guy, you don't have tons of power, you have to rely on that good turn going back and through. And the cool thing is it doesn't even matter if you're not very flexible. Well, I'm going to walk you guys through that. I have an awesome bonus video for you. It's one of the best videos for my power turn section. Just go ahead and click the card that pops up on your screen or the link down below in the description to go ahead and get instant access to that video. That video is going to play here in a second. Check that out. Start working through that power turn to continue to build this so it becomes absolutely automatic and you don't even have to think about it in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. It's going to be ingrained. I'll see you in the power turn. But with the correct technique, we can all hit it with really good distance without a lot of muscular effort. And it all starts out, the very first thing you have to do is get a good powerful turn to load up the body. And it's not only in golf, but in all sports we have to rotate the body. At least 90 degrees with the shoulders as you swing to the top. Preferably, we can go even a little bit past 90 to really get loaded up. That's going to allow us to have a lot of power. So we don't just have to look at golf for this. Let's actually look at other sports. They're rotating their body, then they're coming forward. So we have to get that load. We have to get this big shoulder turn to be able to create power in the golf swing. So in this series of videos, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. That's one of the first keys to getting power, and we're all going to get at least a 90-degree turn, if not more than that. I think you'll be surprised at what you can do. So let's go ahead and get started with the next series of videos, and I'm going to show you how to get this big, powerful turn. All right, guys, so before we go, let's take a look at this in action with some of the top pros. Now here we're looking at Adam Scott, and you're going to see as he rotates to the top, good full shoulder turn. This is pretty typical of what I see with the top pros, a little past 90. Those guys are working on their flexibility, so sometimes they can get to 100 or even 110 degrees.